Look, can I say first of all that events like today, this demonstration, the amount of people who have turned out, not just postal workers but members of the public, what we've done today through the Eastern region, we've connected the British public to our campaign to keep the post public. And I have to say to you that we must expose what this government are doing. They have a majority, but we've got the arguments. And if you listen to what this government is saying, it is an outrage. This government is trying to pretend that this bill is about securing the future of Royal Mail, securing the future of postal services, and making sure that no post offices will close. It is absolute nonsense. How can you say that on one hand, and on the other hand say the solution to that is privatisation? For all the reasons that we know, privatisation will not sustain the universal service. And it's in places like this, in Witney, you people wake up to what's going on with You will not have the postal services that you've had for the last 350 years. There is no way a private company will sustain a universal service. The 6 day a week, one price goes anywhere service will be under threat through privatisation. You know that, we know it. We've got to convince MPs, we've got to convince the public to fight against this. And do you know what makes me sick? When I hear these politicians, and I have to say Labour as well, were as guilty of this when they were in power. Good to see they changed their position now. Let's hope it's for the real reasons, that they really do support what we're doing. I'm sure there are good people in Labour who do, but some of them still need to be reminded, the likes of Mandelson, good riddance to him as well. Let's get back to real Labour people like Anne Black, who's going to follow me in a minute. Look, the way that this government, the way that politicians keep talking about Royal Mail as a financial basket case, we're not asking for the government to bail out Royal Mail. We don't need any more money. All we need to do is a couple of things, and you don't need to privatise the company to bring it back to health. One, you need to make sure that the rules on regulation that basically mean that any private company can come in, pick up the profitable parts of Royal Mail and dump it back into Royal Mail for our members to deliver at a loss. That's what's happening. That's got to change. That doesn't cost anything to change the rules of competition. So, our members' pensions and this pension deficit, it's got to be dealt with. But as you've heard me say many times before, it is not a bailout. Have a look at the fine detail of this bill. This is a great deal for this government. They're trying to rob our members' pension scheme of £26 billion worth of assets. And I'll tell you today, we've got a political campaign, but we'll also have an industrial campaign. Modernisation. We've taken our members through a very, very difficult period in time. And it's not popular to modernise with some of the things that are going with that, with new machinery coming in. It had to be done. But I say this to you, and I say this to our members. We didn't do a modernisation agreement to hand over the benefits of this future of this company to private investors. And if it means that we have to take industrial action to stop this, we will. So look, I'll say to you today, that privatisation is not in the interest of this country. 350 years of postal services under threat. It's not in the interest of businesses. It's not in the interest of communities like this and all around the UK. But what is in everybody's interest is that we keep the post public. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to do that today. Thank you, Dave. Right, I mean, the next two speakers,